Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with the Twitch updated complete guide for patch 4.2b onwards. Now, as I say this, first up, don't forget to refer to the basic guide that we released yesterday for, of course, his leveling order, his skills, his combos, as well as some tips and tricks. But as we say all of this, obviously the patch preview for patch 4.3 is already out, and we know that the rune system is going to get revamped. So from today onwards, I'm still going to be releasing content because I still have some videos to release. I think I have quite a few. I have like 4 Twitch videos. This is the first one, and aside from Twitch, I also have 5 other relooks on previous champions to look at. But for all of them, I'm not really going to go over the runes because there isn't really much of a point, because even though for the past few videos we did, there really isn't a point because the rune system is going to get revamped anyway. So it kind of doesn't make sense anymore. But anyways, with all that said, let's jump straight into talking about his items. So for the items, we go for BORK as our first item. Now, BORK gives us attack speed as well as damage, physical vamp, and of course, we also get the unhit damage based on their current health, as well as the drain passive to steal their movement speed. And then after that, we go for Runan's Hurricane, which gives us even more attack speed, crit, as well as being able to spread to attack 3 targets at once. This is really important on Twitch because this allows him to basically apply his poison onto 3 people at once, which is why this is really important. But the drawback of having double attack speed items at the start is you have so much attack speed, 35 here and 45 here, but you don't have very much attack damage. You only got 20 from here. So this is basically going to lead to the fact that Twitch is going to do very little damage until he reaches 3 items. Because on his 3rd item, he's going to get IE, which is going to give him 55 AD, and of course the boost in crit damage as well as the crit rate. So Twitch is going to be kind of weak until you reach like 3 items, which is very normal. Like most Twitch builds, you are pretty weak until 3 items anyways. So, but this one's even more so because you have a lot of attack speed, but you don't have very much attack damage. So when you hit 3 items, you're going to start to be super duper strong, and every item onwards are going to be strong as well. So Lord Dominic's Regard, of course, for the armor pen as well as the crit and AD. So this is going to give you 100% crit, but if you need to go for Maul Reminder, feel free to do so and swap this out for Maul Reminder. And as our last item, we're going to go for Immortal Shield Bow because there aren't too many crit options, and Shield Bow as the last item is pretty good because you can get that lifeline passive, which of course at this point it'll be at full strength because this is 4 crit items. Or if you went for Maul Reminder, this would be 3 crit items. In the shield will be relatively huge. You get the nice stats, the AD, the crit, the attack speed, and the vamp, but this is really more so for the vamp and the lifeline passive. So once again, we're not going to really talk about the runes, but something I want to briefly mention is we're still going for Lethal Tempo even though we have double attack speed items. And most of the other champions I normally say to go for Conqueror, but for Twitch it's kind of a little bit different because a lot of his damage is tied to the fact that he needs to apply poison. So I think taking Lethal Tempo to apply poison more quickly in the early game, as well as after you get attack speed items, I think it's a little bit too essential to go for like Conqueror or Kraken Slayer in my opinion. And for the spells, you generally take Ghost and Flash. Of course, Flash is self-explanatory, but Ghost, allows you to kite in and out of fights, and especially when you get resets on your Q together with your Ghost, you can run people down. Of course, if you need exhaust, like for enemy assassins or whatnot, do feel free to go for exhaust. But with all that out of the way, let's jump into talking about our gameplay. Okay, so now we're jumping straight into the gameplay now. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below. So now, Twitch, honestly, his best supports are going to be Yuumi and Lulu. It's pretty obvious. It's sort of like a Zeri or like a Jinx situation where they're basically just hyper carries that have pretty weak early games. You can possibly get ahead in early game, and if that happens, most of the time if you play your cards right, the game is over. But majority of the time, you're gonna kind of suck at early game until you reach like 3 items. Like Twitch, Jinx, and Zeri all come online like on 3 items, so you're really weak before you reach 3 items. So you really want a Yuumi or a Lulu to be there to like help you to like survive like the lane and survive the early game. And then when you reach late game, when you are actually strong, they can continue to buff you to help you get kills and to protect you even further. So that really is the best case scenario for Twitch. But of course, you're not going to be able to get this every single game, obviously, unless you're playing dual queue or something like that. So aside from that, generally any support, you know, will do it. He isn't horrible with any supports, although he probably I say that he probably doesn't want engager supports, but I played Twitch with engage supports you know, already, and I think that he's actually not that bad, because if someone can engage for him into a lane that they can all in, Twitch can actually get early kills sometimes. So with engage support, not too bad as well. With enchanters, he can be protected, so really it's kind of fine with anybody. And you can see here that we almost actually killed Seraphine there, you know, ironically, even though we're so weak, because she kind of misplayed there. And here, because we're against a Samira, who's an all-in kind of champion, we're actually not doing too bad against her, because we outrange her by a significant amount, first of all. And secondly, you know, she has to all-in to really like put us under threat. So as you can see here that we're actively harassing using Twitch's poison here. You see what we basically did is stealth, W, auto, E, which basically does maximum damage, and that's basically the full combo that we covered in our basic guide. So basically, we are just pretty much just unleashing our full combo. You can see that in this kind of lane where Twitch, it doesn't suffer in the early game, which a lot of lanes he does. We can actually play pretty alright. Like, getting kills is unlikely unless they make a mistake, but you can see that we're not suffering in the early game. Some early games you can barely get minions, and you know, you're just always like, you know, below half HP. But in this one, we're doing pretty well, all things considered. And we're just gonna back and pick up some items. So you can see here that I'm going for the recurve bow first before going for the vamp scepter, and the reason for this is getting attack speed before you get the vamp is, in my opinion, a better idea, because with more attack speed you can apply your poison faster, whereas with more physical vamp you're not doing a lot of damage anyway, so you're not going to be healing all that much anyway, in my opinion. So I think going for the attack speed component, which is the recurve bow, is better, although you do want to start off with the longsword, not the dagger. Okay, so here Aatrox is being very aggressive. He's flashing all the way in. He's now stuck in the 3v1 here. So now we're trying to help him out. You can see we're rotating over. I just hit 5, so I'm gonna use my ulti to blast people. And here I'm just trying to finish off the kill onto Jarvan. I expunge, but I don't actually get the kill. Jarvan comes back in though, and I'm able to pick up the kill through that way. And now I'm just running away. You can see I popped both my ghost and my flash in this fight. Was it worth it? Arguably, because we did get a kill. So I think that's it's alright, blowing 2 stuns for a kill, but yeah, it was kind of a huge fight. We also get double buffs because we killed Jarvan, so overall I think it's a pretty favorable outcome to the fight. And off the back of that fight, Seraphine and the Samira also has the base, so here I'm also able to like pick up a plate, possibly even 2. So I think that it's pretty favorable overall. So one thing you have to be careful about Twitch is if you have poison on your enemies, you can't walk into the tower, because if you do that, you're going to take tower aggro because it counts as you damaging them. So that's not going to work. So here you can see, you know, we're just going to stealth and wait to see if any enemies, you know, come up. So here we can try to get a quick trade. It doesn't really quite work out. We're able to get a few stacks on Seraphine, trying to max stack on Seraphine, which are able to do. However, unfortunately, we get killed by Samira, double killed by Samira actually, because we overextended a little bit. And the big mistake here that I made was I was tunnel visioning on killing Seraphine, which I could have done, but what I didn't know is that this was an interaction that I didn't actually know, but now I know, which is that your Twitch E can be blocked by Samira's W. And when I say Twitch E, I mean like for everybody. So you know, when Twitch uses his E, his expunge, he kind of like launches a mist of green to like towards the enemy. Apparently that can get destroyed by Samira's W. So there I couldn't pop the stacks using my expunge because it was destroyed by Samira's W. So number 1, I didn't get the kill on Seraphine, and number 2, I didn't get the reset to run away. So because of that, Samira was able to all in me, and you know, because of that I did end up dying. But overall, I would say that that was not too bad of a death, because you know, from that death I learned a very important interaction between Twitch and Samira, which I now know I cannot pop my E unless Samira's W is down. If not, I could end up losing out on all of the E damage. So here you can see that the fight is going on at the dragon. Here I'm trying my best to like DPS with my ulti, but it's not really working out. Darius is chasing me and Lulu down. I'm trying to get the kill on Darius, but I really can't. I don't have enough damage yet. I only have my 1 BORK, and I really can't do anything. Unfortunately, enemy team does secure the dragon as well as a couple of kills on my team. In the meanwhile, Fiora is split pushing, so we are getting something back, which is better than nothing, but the situation is not very good. And this is very common for when you play Twitch, because Twitch, as I said, is really weak, until you reach like 3 items, and now at 1 item you're almost completely useless, to be very honest. To even do anything is mostly the work of your teammates. You're mostly KSing in the early game if you're getting kills, unless, in lane, you're able to like just auto attack someone down, which is pretty rare because they're not gonna stick around for you to just attack for no reason. But yeah, Twitch really weak in the early stages of the game, especially with this build, where you're of course going for a BORK into crit. So here Samira manages to get full stacks again, tries to all in us. I try to flash away and Lulu tries to heal me, but unfortunately we both end up dying regardless. Samira did have to flash to secure the kills though. But overall, yeah, it's kind of just a disaster. You can see that Twitch's early game is generally quite rough, but honestly, you don't have to worry too much about this. And I say this because Twitch is one of the best scaling champions in the game. So, as a hyper carry, it's the same story with like Jinx, Zeri, Kai'Sa, and Tristana to some extent. Which is basically that your early game may not be the best. I mean, honestly, on Kai'Sa and Tristana, the early game is pretty good. But on like Zeri, Jinx, and Twitch, the early game may not be the best. But if you don't fall too far behind, you're still in good shape. So here I'm 1-2-1. Like, it's not a sexy KDA by any means, but it's still not too bad. We're not like 0-5 or anything like that, or we're not like 1-4, so it's not the worst in the world. We just need to sort of wait out until late game, sort of like just take the punishment, wait until late game, and then we can start dishing out the damage ourselves. So with Twitch, it's just really about how well can you survive the early game. So when we reach a certain point in the game, we're going to be able to out-damage everybody on the enemy team. Unless, of course, we get assassinated by Akali. But other than that, we should be able to out-damage everybody on the enemy team. And we should be able to carry our team, so long as we don't fall too far behind. Here, the Twisted Fate comes in for the stun card. And we're able to follow up with the ulti to pick up the kill on Samira. And Twisted Fate is able to finish off the kill on Seraphine. So good roam by Twisted Fate, secure us the kills. We also get the shutdown on Samira, which is really huge. The 4-kill shutdown onto me is going to accelerate me a lot and make it such that I can reach my power spike a lot stronger. Now obviously, even with that shutdown, we're only on like 6k plus gold, which is honestly the same as Twisted Fate and Aatrox at this point in time, which is really not too hot. But yeah, now we have more gold than Samira, so really our team is kind of doing pretty well compared to the enemy team. Like you can see based on the goal, we actually have an 8k goal lead on the enemy team, but it just doesn't feel like it because honestly the majority of the goal lead is on Fiora because of her split pushing. She got that full tower with all of the plates by herself, so majority of the goal is actually on Fiora. So it seems like a really big lead, but it really isn't as big as it appears because Fiora is not joining us for team fights anyway. She's just AFK split pushing, which is not really the worst thing in the world to do because Fiora is kind of meant to split push anyways, but our team is not really making use of the goal lead that we have, so it's really not as big of a goal lead as it appears to be. But anyways, here you can see a fight kind of happening at mid lane. We're gonna stealth in and see if we can catch anyone off guard. Now I unfortunately, it's not even accidentally, I unfortunately get hooked by Darius as I was walking into the lane. He just flashes under tower and hooks, which no one could have expected that to happen. So I end up getting caught while invisible, which is pretty funny. He hooked me and now it's invisible, so he didn't even know that he hooked me at that point. But anyways, Twisted Fate does end up dying, but we end up trading the kill onto Akali, which, hey, to me, if I trade my teammate's life for a kill on me, I'll take that trade any day of the week. My teammates probably wouldn't say the same, but trading a kill on a teammate that's like not fed, like doesn't have a shutdown, onto you who is like a weak early game champion, onto like a hyper carry is gonna be a good deal any day of the week. So here the dragon is up. You can see the enemy team is only just walking on a base, so we should be able to secure the dragon before the enemy team is able to get here. As we see here, we are able to indeed secure the dragon. They're trying to enter the area, trying to engage on Twisted Fate. Here we're just in stealth, trying to see if anything can really be done about the situation. Here, stun card goes down. I'm gonna pop my ulti and start blasting people down, trying to blast that Jarvan, expunge. Unfortunately, Jarvan lives on 1 HP. The poison might be able to kill him, but not for now. So a little bit unfortunate here. The enemy team have multiple people at low HP. Here I'm trying to go forward, trying to kill somebody, anybody. We get the kill on Seraphine, get the reset. But unfortunately, everybody else on the enemy team is able to escape. The Darius was low, the Jarvan was low, but no one really died, which is a tragedy. But you know, we did get one kill, which is a Seraphine, so it's not bad. Now we're 4-2-2. So as you guys can see, we're slowly starting to scale. We're gonna actually get the Zhonya's because Akali is sort of becoming an issue in the past like 3 fights. She hasn't been able to kill us, but that's because we have Lulu. She has been able to go on us, so I'm gonna actually get myself the stasis to prevent this from happening, as in prevent her from killing me altogether. And now I have a long sword as well. Of course, we're gonna build that into our IE, and the moment we hit IE, we're gonna start to become super strong. We're already not too bad now on 2 items, like not too bad. Double attack speed items. Not a lot of AD, but able to apply the poison a lot. So here, Lulu gets caught, unfortunately. Here we're trying to see if we can trade, because they did use some spells onto Lulu. Samira goes in with the ulti. I'm able to stasis to prevent myself from dying to the ulti. I pop the expunge onto, like, I think 2 people who have full stacks, but unfortunately, it's not enough. Now Fiora goes in, gets the kill on Akali. Immune some CC is running away now. She's honestly doing her best to like 1v5. She didn't manage to pick up 1 kill, but not too much she can do after that. She popped both sums. Still has her ultimate though, but very unlikely to be able to kill multiple people. She honestly played this really well. She managed to repulse 2 forms of CC within that one fight, but unfortunately the numbers caught up, and she does end up going down. However, the good news is I'm still relatively fed. I would describe this as a relatively fed Twitch. I'm at 9k gold, which is almost the same as Samira and higher than everyone else in her team. So I would say that, you know, I'm in a really good state at the current moment. So here I'm just trying my best to farm and get up to getting my IE. I'm trying to get to farm the Raptors, but the Aatrox is trying to contest me for the farm, so I'm going to try to farm the Krugs. Thankfully he ends up going the other way, so I'm just going to quickly pick up these Krugs. Of course, farming jungle monsters have become a little bit slower ever since they nerfed like Twitch's damage to jungle monsters a couple of patches ago, because they obviously didn't want Twitch jungle to be too strong, because there was that time where like everyone was playing ADCs in the jungle, Twitch, Kai'Sa, Tristana, Vayne even, everybody. And here there's a huge wave in the bottom lane, so here I'm just going to farm up this huge wave. Really desperately need to get IE as fast as possible, but it's really difficult to do that. We're struggling to find farm. Here we're just gonna convert our longsword into a BS sword, which is of course going to help us out quite a bit in terms of damage. 40 AD is more than we have in our first 2 items anyway. Here Fiora picks up a double kill. I'm late to the fight. I'm trying to run there as quickly as possible to see if I can help out my team. Fiora gets a triple. Possible penta angle for Fiora. Here I'm coming in to blast people down, and unfortunately Fiora dies. Here I'm trying my best. I'm flashing away, kiting the Samira out, and unfortunately Samira's lifesteal is too insane. I thought that I would get her. I mean, I did get her through the poison in the end, but I thought that I would kill her and Jarvan for that matter, just by kiting them out. But the Samira lifesteal is completely insane. She has the shield bow, she has the Bloodthirster, and the lifesteal is just too much. Like, just her normal auto attacks, lifestealing is just too much. So, really unfortunate. Here Aatrox goes for the invade and gets the blue buff, but is getting... Actually, did he even get the blue buff? I think Jarvan might have got the blue buff, but he's getting chased down out of the jungle. The next dragon is spawning in 10 seconds. Thankfully, I have just respawned, so I can walk out of base and head straight over to the dragon. Now, unfortunately, I don't have enough gold to complete IE yet, and obviously the fight's already breaking out because dragon is spawning. Fiora is TPing here instead of split pushing, so we are going to have numbers for the fight. Here I spot a really good angle. Here I'm just free firing, honestly, no one is going onto me. I'm just free firing onto whoever I can, trying to get my stacks onto multiple people. Fiora picks up multiple kills. Here I'm just running forward into the enemy team like a fool, honestly, getting a little bit over eager to, you know, apply the damage. Here Twisted Fate ends up popping the stasis, which causes Lulu to die because Lulu couldn't buff him to get the kill. But basically, literally everybody dies aside from the Twisted Fate. So honestly, I kind of misplayed there. I have no idea why I was running so far forward. I should have like stayed in the back line and just continued blasting, but I thought we had the fight won. So I was running forward to like just DPS the last few people and you know, just get the stacks to pop them. But obviously that was a very foolish mistake by me. Thankfully though, it ends up being positive outcome for our team. We have basically all 3 lanes pushed in at this point. And I'm also able to pick up the IE. So now I'm on the 3 item power spike on Twitch. And now we're going to be strong. So now we're going to hit straight over to the dragon while the enemy team is busy dealing with the waves. And we're going to just go to the dragon and just take the dragon. Now, Twisted Fate is trying to reset. Not a big deal because he can TP back to the dragon with his ulti if he needs to. But here Darius tries to contest. My team is just going to clean him up. While me and Aatrox are able to just pick up this dragon. So Jarvan for some reason just walks straight to us. Gets chain CC. And thankfully for him, he's really tanky. I'm walking into a wall. But here I'm just going to pop the ghost. I'm going to pop the Q as well, trying to run at the enemies. And here we're able to reach the Akali, I believe, to get an assist. I believe we got the assist on Akali, but not too sure. Anyways, here, get the reset on the ghost. We're going to run over and push down the mid lane. Now here I'm pinging to do Baron. Because there's 3 people on the enemy team dead. Only Jarvan and Samira are alive, so I think it's a pretty free Baron. Thankfully my team is coming over. You can see Jarvan probably knows that this is happening. But Fiora is dealing with him. Honestly, Fiora is kind of carrying this match pretty hard. With the split pushes, with the team fights, and with just zoning Jarvan away. Jarvan can't come anywhere close. Fiora is just preventing him from coming anywhere close at all. We secure the Baron. And Fiora is kind of now getting a little bit caught out because enemy team has respawned, but we're ready to help her out. Enemy team just runs away immediately because they know they can't fight us, and we're gonna just recall. And yeah. So here the Elder Dragon's coming up in 40 seconds. So here ideally we want to like push out our waves and then go for Elder Dragon, or Fiora could even just commit to a split push because her TP is, I think, almost gonna be back up, or I think it is back up actually. So Fiora does have TP, so she can probably just commit to a split push, and then she can TP to Elder Dragon if needed. And it appears that that's exactly what she is doing at the moment. Enemy team is kind of just prepping around the Elder Dragon pit, probably just warded the area. But you can see that, we have Twisted Fate pushing in the mid lane, I'm pushing in the bot lane, and Fiora is pushing in the top lane. So the enemy team is forced to sort of respond to the waves and defend instead of contesting the Elder Dragon. You can see Samira, Akali, and Seraphine are not even near the Elder Dragon. And here, my team is all just pushing down mid, so we're obviously not doing the Elder Dragon. Here, my team's pushing down mid, so I'm just going to push down bot. There's going to be too much pressure on any team to handle. So here I'm just trying to secure this tier 2 tower, which I do manage to actually secure. And then we can fall back onto the Elder Dragon. You can see the most important enemy member to take note of is Samira, and Samira is in the mid lane. Jarvan, who's of course the jungle, who's of course really important for like a dragon, is still getting zoned away, so this should be a free Elder Dragon. We get the Elder Dragon, we can turn onto them if they get too close. Twisted Fate trying to stun card, flashes forward for the stun, and here we're just going to open up and start blasting people down. As you guys can see here, we're going to flash over, start blasting the Samira down, blast the Jarvan down, blast the Akali down, just blast everybody down. We get the triple, and we basically are able to end the game off of that one fight. So you can see basically how Twitch works, which is that he basically, just has to, take the punishment until he reaches 3 items, and then he starts to take over the game. Anyways guys, I'm gonna leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.